Hello and welcome to the first robotic idiotic episode of 2021. Now I've got a little bit of catching up to do. I mean, it's been Christmas, my PC decided to roleplay as a brick for a while, and I have been rotating a duck. They hate that. Ugh. I don't want to do that again. Although there hasn't been a new video for a while, I have actually still been filming the build. So, let's get into it. So this is currently episode number 5. Let's give you a quick rundown, although I would rather you watch the videos to be honest and bump up my view count. But let's give you a rundown of what I've done so far. In the introductory episode of Have I Finished My Beetle, I modelled a new look Volta in Fusion 360 in order to make sure all my components fit and to make templates. In episode 2 I took them guides, added them to some 10mm HDPE and jigsawed out the parts. I also added in some screw holes for the side and the top panels. In the third episode I cut out the polycarb panels, added some screw holes and, most notably, drilled out the ports for the 25mm gear motors. And then in the most recent episode I drew and cut out the chassis from the 3mm HDPE that I had and mounted it to the underside of the bulkheads. Which brings us nicely to now. Now, I previously mentioned that the excess I cut out of the chassis wheel port could be used for wheel mounts. So, waste not want not, I drilled out a hole big enough to cater for the gear motor's shaft and a hole big enough for the M3 mount screws. We'll ignore the fact that I wanted 2 screw holes, but my accuracy with the drill was that dreadful, I only opted for 1 in the end. Lather, rinse, repeat for the second one, inaccuracies and all. Now it was time to drill the holes into the bulkheads so I could attach the makeshift mounts to the robot. These were put on with standard short wood screws for both sides. I tried it with the wheel on and surprisingly it was pretty solid. I rebuilt the bulkheads back together and then I realised my error. That's the wrong side. I had screwed the mounts to the wrong side of the bulkhead. Not a difficult fix, just required some more drilling on the correct side and then screwing it all back together. The bulkheads were tightened up, but to get the wheels on I had to take the polycarbonate sides off. And the chassis. I hadn't made this thing very user friendly, but again we'll gloss over that. With both wheels fitted and screwed onto the hubs, definitely on its own wheels now, it was time to put the chassis back on. And then I realised my error again. Ah! No. You see, the hubs extended the wheelbase out a tiny little bit, but that meant that the wheel ports in the chassis I had already cut out didn't fit over the wheels. No. Oh dear. Which meant I had to get the rotary tool out again to widen the ports to accept the wheels. So go a bit more compact than what it used to be. Let's fit it to the bulkheads. The bulkheads were re-tightened again and then the chassis was finally lined up with the wheelbase. It's on! It rolls! It actually rolls! Oh. So the wheels were where they were supposed to be, the chassis and the polycarbonate were back on, and it could roll around on its wheels. But that wasn't where I stopped. Now that I think about it, motors are in. This is extremely wishful thinking. Yeah, that spins. Also spins. Just purely the battery, the speed controllers and the receiver. I've done this before. If this is wrong, you just edit it out. Surely. And on that cliffhanger is where I'm going to leave it. because I'm getting a little bit too far ahead of myself right now. I am, evidently, not too far away from making it run on its own RC power. I mean, it's over there, it's in some sort of shape, but it is getting that little bit closer to actually being finished. And that is quite an incredible achievement, considering that, okay, you look at my previous incarnation of Volta, and that was not like this. Not like that at all. This is a bit more beefier and a bit more substantial. But as I say, I don't want to run before I can walk. I've still got the side wedges to go on, the flipper needs to go on, and all the other electronics as well. Hopefully that will come pretty soon. I kind of see it twitching on a bunch of old ESCs as almost the beginning of the end before it gets obliterated. Oh, I'm getting there. It's progress, isn't it? Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this one. It's been a little bit different with the voiceover and all that, and I'll hopefully see you in episode 6, where I would like to get the flipper started. Thank you for watching. See you then.